I'm Sydney. And I'm Talia. Pull up a chair. You're listening to The Desk. Back to The Desk, where global conversation meet real-life experiences. Today, we're joined by someone who truly embodies ambition, purpose, and growth. From studying international business to working in corporate relationship management, she's built a career rooted in connection and strategy. But beyond that, she's also the author of her own book, the founder of a Spanish tutoring platform, and the creator of an internship hub designed to open doors for others. In this conversation, we're exploring what it means to navigate corporate spaces, build something of your own, and stay grounded in your values and faith while doing it all. So, pull up a chair and let's get into it. So, today, guys, we are with a wonderful young lady. Her name is Sydney West. And now I say this because, as you know, my co-host is also named Sydney. So this is beautiful. They share a name. And beyond that, Sydney and I share the same birthday. Happy belated birthday, darling.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm so excited to have you. I knew that you will be a perfect fit. I told my co-host that you were amazing and that, you've done so much stuff. So I'm so happy you're here. We are just going to
Thank
get
you.
into our questions.
Okay. Thank you for having
Okay.
me.
Thank you for coming. We're so excited to talk to you. Obviously, before we got started, we were gisting a little bit and just kind of catching up. Before we get into all the very specific questions, I just wanted to ask, how are you? And how is your Saturday going? Because obviously Saturday's the weekend and I'm hoping you're getting some time to rest. So how are you?
I'm great. Saturdays are not my day of rest. I feel like it's an extended work day, if I'm really being honest with you. I get up and I do Pilates in the morning. And then from Pilates class, I would then prep a print if I have to print anything. If I don't print on the Friday night, then I'll print for my Spanish class 11 to 12. And then I think after 12, and then I kind of slow things down, but then I'll be working on other businesses as well to just catch up whatever I didn't do throughout the week. So I would say it's definitely an extended work day. Then I socialize probably at night or sometimes just watch a show. So yes, it's a mix. Sometimes it's a rest day, sometimes it's not a rest day. It just depends on what I've got going on, I guess. But yeah, those are usually my mornings. They start early. But it's a great way to just wake up and take care of my body on a Saturday.
I love that. And honestly, I feel like Pilates is, though it's, pretty intense, I do still feel like it's a bit of a rest because it's just a time to kind of bring yourself and make yourself one with your body and give yourself a different kind of activity than mental activity and
100%.
kind of working your way intellectually. So I love that you
I
start the day with
agree.
Pilates. I love Pilates. I love Pilates.
I'm not a Pilates
It's
girly.
so tea. I love Pilates too.
Sorry,
You what?
guys. I'm a weightlifter. I am not a Pilates girly.
Well, I do work out as well. I go to the gym twice a week, but outside of that, I do love me a little Pilates.
And I love that.
I'm not
for
a
you,
big
darling.
weightlifter though. I'm not deadlifting 150 pounds or 300 pounds and those kinds of competitions. But I be, do my little dumbbell in the gym.
I like that. That's cute. That's cute. One day we should train together.
Okay, yes, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. Go talk to her later.
She's my personal trainer, and honestly, for reference, I can't stand arm day. Don't do arm day. I only do, my arm day is doing my hair. You see how this bun is slick? That's my arm day. She has me up in that gym every Tuesday talking about, let's do shoulder presses, let's do, curls. I'm like, girl, no. And now they have all this whack definition and stuff. I'm like, what the heck? She be like, shut up on your arms. I'm like, I will
So
not.
she's doing what she needs to do. That's what I heard.
Thank you.
There you go. Hire her. Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Okay, so what does success look like to you right now?
That's a great question. Usually, I feel like I would say balance, but recently I was told harmony. And so I like that a lot better because it doesn't require everything to be equal. It requires some things to be more than others in this season, but it still allows you to have a flow and you're not exhausted, you're not overworked, you're not very tired. And so I think I'm learning how to harmonize all the things that I do apart from my 9 to 5, building a business, doing Spanish and all the other things is like success looks like being able to pour into every roll that I have and every cup as much as it needs in that moment and in that season. Because I feel like right now is real maintenance with my Spanish. So there's not really much I have to do, but really show up and think about, okay, how am I gonna break this down and teach it? But for work, I'm working late. Like this week, I worked late. So it was something I couldn't really pour into my internship insights, for example. So that it showed me like is a give and a take, ebb and flows of things. And so learning the harmony and being okay with the harmony, because I'm a very much want things to be balanced. I want to be able to spend this amount of hours doing this amount of hours doing that, go to the gym, go to this, like just be busy, but productively busy, if that makes sense. But sometimes that's not always the case. And so I'm learning to harmonize my life and get into a great flow of things that allows me to maintain a healthy mental, physical, emotional health and capacity. So yeah, I would say that's what success looks like to me right now.
I like that.
Yeah, I love the inclusion of the word harmony
Mhm.
because I don't think I would have thought of it
No.
as an unequal balance, basically. Like,
Mm.
I love
Hmm.
that idea of giving your all into something without necessarily overextending yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Es- Especially as a multi hyphenate. Like,
Mhm.
you're someone who does so many things. And so, I
Hmm.
guess my question for you would be how do you balance a desire for harmony that's inclusive of all the things you just mentioned, like mental, spiritual, emotional, physical well being, and ambition that allows you to
Hmm.
keep growing, keep being better, keep kind of crossing all these things off your list?
That's a great question. I kind of want you to ask it again, just so that I can
Okay.
make sure I know the blinks.
No, that's perfectly fine. How do you balance the tension between having healthy harmony and
Mm,
healthy ambition?
I think it's a tough, tough balance for sure. Um, what I've come to learn in determining what does healthy look like and more so feel like, I think what it looks like to me is different than how it feels. And so I'm learning how to adjust when I do feel exhausted. Okay, Sydney, you're doing too much. You're just doing too much. So how can we still get to where we want to go while still taking potentially smaller steps? I think I'm very much, like you say, very much ambitious. So I want to get things done and I want to get them done efficiently. I want to get them done quick. And sometimes that's not the case. And especially in this season of building a business that is not my own, I truly believe that it is the Lord's business. I have to often humble myself, surrender my business, surrender my heart, surrender everything that goes into my business because it is not mine. And every time I feel like I can do it by myself, it reminds me that it was never you. It was always me. And so I have to continuously humble myself. And so yeah, I think spiritual health is the way that I balance it most because if I'm not healthy spiritually, I can't pour into the people at work. I can't pour into my work at work. I can't pour into my businesses and, continue to have healthy ambition because the healthy ambition it actually becomes unhealthy. Like the ambition no longer becomes healthy. It's unhealthy because I'm thinking about me, and it's never about me. It's more so how can you use me? And he's already used me in so many different ways. And so I think stewardship also goes into that. Like I can't store the things I have well because it's not in alignment with him. And so without that alignment, I feel like I can have a healthy balance between ambition and like success. I think those are the two things that you said.
Okay. So, speaking about ambition, what has corporate life taught you about it? Like, what has corporate life taught you about ambition?
Mm. It's taught me that ambition at the end of the day really is what they pay you for. Because if you're trying to go to the next level, you have to be ambitious. You have to raise your hand. You have to say, hey, I can do, I can do. And being in a role and in an industry that I've never been in before, it required me to start at ground zero. And I appreciate it because it also allows me to see, okay, what am I teaching in Internship Insights Co that I'm actually living out? And so being I had to start at ground zero, I had to see, okay, how do I be proactive? How do I teach the things that I'm teaching? Like I said, in Internship Insights Co, how do I apply that to my life? And I think this was a perfect opportunity because I'm starting, like I said, from ground zero. And so in the last 4 months, I've been able to gel well, extremely well, I feel like, with my team, have projects with my CEO, and now be on track for promotion within the 4 months that I've been at my job. And I think that's because of my ambition. So it's not because it's not because of the without ambition, I feel like I wouldn't definitely be where I'm headed. But yeah, I think that it's a requirement. It requires you to learn, to grow, to adapt in every area of your life in order for you to, go to your next level. So yeah, that's what corporate life taught me. No one's gonna give you a handout also. Like if you don't raise your hand, they're not gonna give you work. And I learned that also the hard way during my first months at work. Like I was like, okay, like I'm doing nothing, like I'm twiddling my thumbs, but unless I spoke up and said, hey, like, can you give me some work? Hey, I want to try this out, or hey, I want to do this, like they were just gonna expect or think that I'm already got work to do and they don't need to give me anything else. And so until I was able to show like, I can do more, you can extend my capacity, and I asked for more things and I did those things well, they was like, okay, well, we could trust you with more. And so now I think that's allowed them to get serious about creating a pathway for me to go on and get promoted.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Congrats. Like
Yeah.
Thank you so
that's a big
much.
thing. Like 4 months
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
such a serious turnaround. And again, considering you have like a million other things that you're doing and doing those well as well, it's such a credit to you. And again,
Thank
that
you.
steward that you think and kind of put your whole life around. I think it's a really beautiful job that you're doing.
Thank you.
Have you ever felt pressure to prove yourself during that period of time?
Definitely. I think where I am today is exactly that reason, proving that I can be, that I can do. And I think I do so many things because I want to prove that I can be great and do so many different things at once.
Yeah.
And it's not a flex at all because it's exhausting, if I'm really being honest. However, I think now being on the other side of things where I was at first proven to show others like, oh, I can do, and also to myself that I can do, I can do. I think I'm also coming to learn and coming to terms with the fact that you can you are who you are. I was actually just having a conversation about with my friend about this the other day, and it was more so in regards to man. And so I'll make the analogy in this because I think it's with the world as well, like the people that you surround yourself with, family, friends, whoever. Like at the end of the day, we do things to prove to other people that we are these things. And so, like for example, if you're in a very toxic relationship, you're trying to prove to that man that you are loyal, that you're down for the count, that you're right or die, that you're this, that you're that, you're that. But those things you already are. You know you're these things, and you just want somebody else to validate those things. And so what I've come to realize is that I am ambitious. I can do things well. And so I don't have to prove those things to other people. If I need to slow down, then I need to slow down in order to make things fruitful and make things right. It doesn't mean that because they don't see it or because they don't observe me as that I'm not that. It just means that there's some things that they just don't see or they can't appreciate. And so I think that's what I've come to terms with. It's no longer proven to others like that I'm this and that I'm that, but it's more so like understanding and knowing within me that I am these things. And so how I go and express those things, some people have access to it and some people don't. And just because everybody doesn't describe you as one or so things doesn't mean you're no longer those things. They just don't appreciate those things about you. And so that's okay. It's really about who you believe that you are. And I really do believe that having my identity aligned with Christ has allowed me to appreciate that a lot more.
Girl, thank God you wrote a book. You got a podcast too. I'd listen. Like, come on. This is really, you are spitting all the gems today. I love it.
Thank you.
And based on
Yeah.
everything you said, do you think that these are all really good foundational blocks to building a career that you would enjoy, like, not just necessarily for you, but for anybody who's listening to this and kind of going into their career, or even if they're at a point where they feel complacent?
Yeah. I believe that yes, at the end of the day, you need to. It's funny. I just went to a retreat yesterday, a women's retreat, and she talked about like, why do you what was the thing that she said? Oh my god, it just left me. But it was more so along the lines of what are you seeking? Like when you are going out to do these things, like what are you seeking? Like so it was a Bible study and she was talking about for example, you want to get this career with this job and for this money, but okay, so is it that you're seeking? Are you seeking just the money? And if that is the case, then you need to say, okay, Lord, like, why do I have so much greed? And really understand that and then work from that. So I think it comes down to understanding you, understanding what are you seeking? Why do you want that job? Why do you want to have a business? Why do you want to do these things? Is it to serve you? Is it to serve this image that you want to portray to the world? Or is it really to help other people? Is it really to produce this beautiful service that you wish that you had that you want other people to use and experience? And I feel like it always comes down to like, what are you seeking? So yeah, I think that's where people should start. It's like, why do I want to go after these things? Is it because my parents told me? Is it because society told me? Is it because social media told me? Or is it because I truly like this thing? Is it because I really want to help people do this thing? Or if I really want to just do this thing, really your life should be about you. It should be about what you want and what you want to leave a mark on this world with. And so, yeah, that's what I believe. What are you seeking? I think that is the main question.
Write that down. Write that down.
Right.
No, write that down. I like that. So you seem so confident in yourself and in your
Thank you.
position. Um, what has confidence looked like for you in your career so far? And when I say career, yes, I mean your 9 to 5, but also the career that you are building, your entrepreneurship
Mhm.
as well.
Confidence to me is preparation, if I'm really being honest. I don't feel like I can be confident if I'm not prepared. I can't
Right.
present if I'm not prepared. So I didn't go up and do my pitch in November and win because I didn't prepare. One thing about me, two things for sure, I was preparing everywhere. We had Bible study. I'm sitting there 5 minutes before Bible study going through my pitch. I have 5 minutes. My pitch is 5 minutes. If I can get it done in 5 minutes, then I'm there. I'm going out. I'm coming back in. I'm gonna pitch again. Like I remember we went to a football game. We didn't get home till like 11 o'clock. I'm like, my pitch is coming up. I need a practice. So one thing about it, two things for sure, is preparation. I had people asking me questions. I was like, I don't even know how to answer this question. One of my friends helped me, and she was like, okay, this is how we answer it. Like, don't stress. Like, if it's a question that comes up, like, just think about it like this, think about it like that. And so I think confidence comes with preparation. And so, yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna know something. You are amazing, first of all. Second of all,
Thank you.
you are not the first person who we've talked to on this podcast who's read me for filth. Like honestly, it feels like God gives us guests who for some reason they give messages that I need to hear
My
because
goodness.
again, the other day we were just talking and we were talking about our process.
Mm.
I'm just gonna jump head in and I'm the type of person that says we'll figure it out as we go. On the other hand, she's a no, I need step one, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, then step
Love
two.
that.
And I'm like,
Mhm.
I've got the idea. I see the end goal and the end point, but
Mhm.
I'm literally working off of faith.
Yeah.
And she's like, yes, God's gonna take you there. He will, but
Yeah.
you have to work. You have to
Yep.
work. I'm like,
You have to
yes,
work.
but I'm not really a planner.
Yeah,
So,
you definitely need both.
and I feel I I
Do you
need
know
my
what it
Your
notebook.
is?
faith.
It's like it's just like I think I learned the hard way. The way that she started, I feel like when I was younger, it was really easy to just kind of have the big idea, or like things came easier because school was easier or
Yeah.
the schedule was
Yes.
easier. But then the more we grew up and the more responsibilities were added, it wasn't just I could wake up and I knew, okay, I have to go to uni, I have to do work, I have to do this, I have to do
Yeah.
that. And that was just the mental kind of to-do list.
Mhm.
I gotta wake up, I gotta do Bible study, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta come back, I need to shower, I need to cook
Yeah.
to get my lunch together because we ain't spending no money when we go outside, okay? Now I gotta come back.
London's expensive.
Then I gotta do work. What am I gonna do at work? The 25 tasks that I have to do. Cool. Then I'm gonna finish that. Then when I come back, I need to again make sure I'm eating dinner because we got the gym again. Cool. Now we're going to the gym. When I come back from that, like what are the steps? Because then when you leave them, you won't move. Like for me, without those like step one,
100%.
1A, 1B to get to two, I will forget A and B. I will just do
You
one.
and me
And then
both.
right? And then I'm gonna forget those little things, and those little things build to the 2, and they build to the
To
3, and they build to the 4.
Yes,
And so I need
exactly.
the one it's my yellow brick road.
I 100% agree
Yes.
with you, girlies. I do. I 100% agree. In a perfect world, that is me too. But honestly, my method has been tried and tested, and I still get to from 1 to 3, and I'm just got it as 1, 2, 3. I still get it done.
Period.
But I will say this, if you were to ask me to write a summary about what I did, I'm not going to be able to do that because I just did it. How I did it, I did it. And the thing is, when I produce,
Mm,
it comes out great. People were like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing. How did you do that?" Da, da,
yeah,
da, da. I was like, "I just sat down, and then I did it." They're like, "Oh." Now,
yeah.
to the listeners, don't be like me. Be like these two, the two namesakes. Be like them. Don't be like me.
No,
Or be like you, though.
I think that there's value in both. I think that at some
Yeah.
point you can have a plan and then you are going away playing, you're like, oh, this doesn't sound like it was supposed to get like this. And then you need to pay because the law's going to tell you, okay, absolutely not. You need to turn right when you thought you was turning left. And so it requires both. Like there's no way that a plan is just a plan because how we see things is not how God sees things. And so he's going to always be like, I never expected to go like that. But I did want you to start the thing. I did want you to do one. I did want you to do two. And I did want you to do three. And then you're going to come up with a plan that you think takes you to one, that takes you to two, that takes you to three, and it just didn't. You're going to take a detour because it's going to tell you, oh no, not left, right. Not right, left. Not up, down. Not down, up. And then as you go throughout it, you have to trust that he will guide you and he will tell you what's right and what's wrong, what's left, what's right, what's up, what's down. And it will happen like that. But with your plan, at least you're able to say, okay, this is what it's supposed to look like, something kind of like this. And so when you get there, you know that you've arrived to where you're supposed to arrive at. So you need to know the 1, 2, and 3. You do need to know the A's, B's, and the C's, but sometimes in between the A's and the B's, you're still gonna have a 1A, 1AA, 1BB, you know? And those things, the little things is where he will tell you and guide you where to go. So yeah, I think both are valuable.
I completely agree. Like exactly what you're saying. Proverbs 69, the Lord establishes your plans. Like, yes, in our hearts we
Yes.
plan our course, but the Lord will establish it,
100%.
whether it's according to
Amen.
your plan or not. So at the end of the day, you get the things done. Like, if it is
Yeah.
about being a bit more fine tuned or whatever the area is that you feel like maybe we're doing a bit better, apply that.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as you're getting it done and the girlies are liking it, and by the
Yeah.
girlies, I mean you and the Lord, like,
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, both ways work. Like, also, sometimes being a extra serious planner, sometimes you get so anal about the planning that you forget about the rest of it, or like you stunt
Exactly.
yourself in the planning to the point where it's like now I can't even move.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea
Facts.
of doing like this bag brand, the idea of doing it, I can talk, 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 talk. But the concept of being like, okay, let me post on social media, let me do this. I was at a dead end. And
Really?
then we went viral. And
Mhm.
that was crazy. And it forced me to
Period.
have to
I'm so
it
proud of
forced me. So sometimes it's like, again, ABC is out the window when God is like, "No, baby, 1, 2, and 3." So
Yeah,
you got it.
definitely.
He knows my strengths and my weaknesses. I'm still working. Yeah. But how does your faith influence how you show up at work? Your personal
Mm.
journey.
How does my faith show up at work or help me to show up at work?
How does it influence how you show up at work?
That's a great question. I think in Bermuda, as we know, is a drinking culture. So
Mm,
corporate life is even more of a drinking culture. But I don't drink, and I don't feel like I have to drink in order to fit in.
mhm,
And so I remember like when I first started work, we was talking about drinking or alcohol or something, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't drink. And so they was like, oh, like why? So I was telling him like, at first I wasn't drinking just to not drink because I just felt like I didn't need to. And then as my faith grew, like I just no longer felt the need for it, and it just automatically fell off. Like I just never felt like I had to get back into drinking again. It was like no point. And I fell out of like interest in clubs and stuff. So I felt like I was a social drinker anyway. So if I'm not going out to drink, I don't really have a reason to drink. And so from then I just don't drink. And so I just drink my water and I'm content and I still have a great time. And I just don't feel, what is the word? Like alienated or different because my team still treats me the same way. It doesn't change anything. And I think people value me more for not trying to pretend to be something that I'm not than trying to fit in with things that just don't align with me. So yeah, I think that people have respected me more for it.
I love that. And how do you take that same authenticity into every one of your businesses? So whether that's the tutoring, the internship hub, corporate life, how do you maintain that Sydney flair across all of it?
That's a great question. I think it came down to coming to terms with who I am and accepting who I am. I think for a long time I was a people pleaser, so I always tried to bend and flow into things that other people wanted from me rather than me doing things that I genuinely wanted to do. And but in saying that, I think the oxymoron of it all is that I am also a disruptor of things. So I started my Spanish business because I believed that my Spanish teacher in high school was trash. So I wanted to prove that I can be a teacher and I can do it well and I can do it in a way that students would love and that it will be easy to learn. And so many people often fall like, oh, like that's not even possible type of thing. But now I tutor a 4-year-old. She loves Spanish. She has a great time every single time she comes to class and she's learned so much. She probably knows a lot more than probably high school students. And that's because we found a way to, teach in a style that she enjoys, but also making Spanish lighthearted and fun and not a lot of pressure. I think when it comes to other things as well, it's like I said, being a disruptor of things, but Internship Insights Code wasn't something that I had my heart set on. But I knew from a long, like from probably high school after we took like an interest test in high school that I'll be in human resources. I think entrepreneur was on there. I don't really remember, but I do know that it was like business, human resources, teacher, and like Internship Insights Code kind of encompasses all of those things, as well as Idiomas is also a teaching platform as well. So I knew that those things would eventually come to pass. And then when Internship Insights Code came, it's both. It's the strategy, which I also love. I love to plan. I love to connect the dots. I love data. So that just became that. And then I think the same thing with like the Inspire Initiative, which is what my book brand or like the personal development brand of it all. I think all of it is to help people be better, do better. And so the Inspire Initiative was created to say, okay, if I can achieve my goals, I want to help other people to do the same thing. Like they should be able to believe in themselves. They should be able to break things down and achieve the things that they want to achieve. And so, yeah, I think all of them, once I, like I said, decided and trial and error myself and decided, okay, like I want to make things better, which I think is always the heart of things when I create them. And I want other people to be able to use them and find value in them. It's just my personality. I love to help people. So I just think that it just shows up in every one of those things that I do.
This podcast is brought to you by Kelomolo, where culture and class meet couture.
You're so great. You are. It's really
Thank
insightful.
you.
Speaking about your book, let's
Mhm.
let's dive a little bit more into that. What
Yes,
inspired
let's do that.
you to write your book?
A friend of mine actually, she was like, okay, you've done the coaching, you know it works. So just make it a book and then you could scale it. And I said, oh, okay, fine. So it was kind of like a dare to me. And one thing about dare is I'm gonna try it. So especially if I think it's a good idea. So if someone kind of dare me to do something and I'm like, okay, like that ain't nothing but a thing, I could do that. So I was like, okay. So I went to Bali. I was already going to Bali, but while I was in Bali, I
Mhm.
I compiled it, or I decided what I wanted it to look like. And then was it like, yeah, when I came back, I had a couple of friends read through it, make sure that it didn't have like no spelling errors. It made sense that they would use it. Kind of did my, I guess, customer discovery and just seeing like what they think, feedback, immediate feedback. And it was like, yeah, like I would use this, like this looks great. Like I need this book. So I'm like, okay, perfect. So once I did that, yeah, I just created it, I launched it, put it on Amazon, and that was that.
I love it, and I'm still waiting on my signed one. Imma get it
Yeah,
when it's
you will.
signed.
Definitely. Especially if you hit him this summer, definitely. Just hit me up and we can make that happen.
Right on. If someone takes one thing away from your book, what would you want it to be?
Mm, that you can start messy and end with a finished product. Because in the beginning of the book, it's a workbook one. So it's not like something you're gonna sit down and read 1,000 things. It's probably like if seven pages of reading, but it's a workbook for you to work through the goals that you want to achieve. And so in the beginning, you start off very messy. You're just writing down ideas that you want to achieve. By the end of it, you have reflections on what went well, what didn't go so well. So you know your method into how you do this and how you do it in other areas of life again. So I think the beautiful part about it is that you start messing, you start like, I don't know what I want to do or how I'm going to get there. But then throughout the book, you learn how to take the steps necessary in order to achieve what you're looking to achieve. And then you're able to see where you started with reflection and then where you're ending and like, oh my gosh, like, look at what I have achieved in such a short amount of time. I feel like no matter however long it takes you to achieve a goal, it still feels short because it just feels that way. I don't know how to explain it.
Flies by, yeah.
It does every single time. You're like, no way, I just started this. Like, it's no way I've achieved this already. And
Mm,
yeah,
literally. It's the growing pains.
yeah,
Every time you start to grow, you're always in pain. And then once the
definitely.
growth part is finished, you're like, wow, it wasn't that bad. Now look at
It
me. I've
wasn't,
gotten this far. Yeah.
I can do this again. Definitely.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, I thought you were gonna ask a question. I was about to go, how did writing the book actually change your perception of yourself and your purpose and like what it is that you want to do?
I don't think it changed anything. I think it more so validated what I wanted to create.
Mm.
In creating my book, I think it showed me that maybe I can do more things. Like the Inspire Initiative is like one, like writing a book is a big deal,
Mhm.
and writing it based on lived experience. And then I think seeing it from other people, like seeing what I do in my personal life or what I've learned to do in my personal life in order to achieve goals, and then me then teach other people through one-on-one coaching for I think it was like 6 weeks. And see their growth from beginning to end, like them starting very messy. Like, this is what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. And then getting to the end, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a system. Like, I know how to achieve things now. Was like, wow. So then I think from then, it just confirmed for me, like, this is the space that I always wanted to be in. I always wanted to help people achieve what they wanted to achieve. And it just kind of confirmed that from that coaching experience to then writing the book and then people now using the book and saying, like, look at what I'm done. It's like, wow. So yeah, I just think it was a confirmation thing.
I love it. You are so listen, guys, I don't mean to repeat myself. I don't mean to just say it over and over every time Sydney finishes her statements, but listen, guys, she's so amazing. She's
Thank you so
so
much.
much in these past few years, since we've graduated. Um, backstory. Like I said earlier, we're born on the same day. We graduated high school the same year. We both are Rotary exchange students. I went to Belgium, she went to Bolivia,
Mhm.
and she decided to do all these things, get her degree, become one with God. You had a loss that was really touching, and during that time, you found God for your personal
Mhm.
growth. for your
Yeah.
personal stuff, because growing up in Bermuda, Christianity is the dominant religion. So I would assume that, you were in and out of church just like me growing up. But then
Yeah.
mhm, to
I
see
was
it
just
like
insane. Yeah.
to see you find God for your own personal growth or benefit. That's amazing. So when I say to her, she's amazing, she's so cool, she's got so much wisdom, it's because of I've passively followed her because, like I said, we kind of grew up together. But
Mhm.
to see it and to speak to each other about her journey is just truly amazing. So let's go into Spanish and your Spanish tutoring. It's called idiomas.
Mhm.
Um, so like, what inspired you to start this business?
Well, like I said, my teacher in high school, she was not T. So I was like, this is just not gonna be a thing. Like, if people are gonna learn Spanish, or at least get tutored, because I know I didn't want to teach Spanish. I didn't want to be, as I always say, like this may be rude, but I don't want to be with nobody's rude, snotty nurse children. Like, I don't want to do that all day. It was just never any books for me. You feel me? Like, it just felt like just not me. But I'm really happy to help you out. Like, if you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
look, Spanish just is not working out for me. Like, I really want to how I mean, I really want to learn Spanish, but I don't want to go to class for it, or like I'm not really loving my teacher type of thing. I just didn't want to be confined to a classroom, I guess. I don't know. But I also love one-on-one because it allows you to understand that student and then help them to really break through in whatever area. So that's really why I went into tutoring. And then also I, like you said, I was in Bolivia in
19 to 20.
19 to 2020. Yes. And so then is when I learned a lot of my Spanish. And so I was like, okay, like, and then when I first came back, I think I was given the opportunity to work with brownies, which are like 7 to 8 year old
Mm-hmm.
girls. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, like this isn't bad. Like I'm actually kind of enjoying this. And then I was also given another opportunity with BFA referees. And so that was also interesting. But it also showed me like hosting bigger classes also showed me like maybe I'm not cut out to be a teacher. Like I'm genuinely
Mm-hmm.
not. But I enjoyed the big groups, I enjoyed the small groups, but I definitely do love one-on-one. And over the years, I've definitely seen how my business has grown, more so in my skills of developing different curriculum, syllabus, activities, and for students to actually enjoy. And so I think at one point Spanish was another boring class, even though when I taught it, because I hadn't had all of the components that I have now in my business. So I feel like it looks different, it feels different. And yeah, that's what kind of inspired me to create it. It's just not having great Spanish teachers.
I'm so sorry for you. I'm so sorry.
I only had like one great one. I think she was in my middle school. No, I had
Yeah.
two. I did have one great one in high school, and I had one great one in middle school. But then I switched classes, and then I didn't like my teacher anymore. So
I was
yeah.
I love how you just keep whacking her. She's like, nah, she was not good. Next.
like she was like,
Just wasn't.
and what you gonna do about it? No, actually, funny story. So I was filling out for the exchange program and you had to put which countries that you wanted to choose, and I chose Belgium as
Mm.
my first pick. And I told my Spanish teacher and she tore into me. Same way you're tearing into yours, she tore into me. She's like, Talia, why would you do that? Why would you choose a different country? You're supposed to choose a Spanish speaking country. I was like, listen, teach. I wanted to learn French. I wasn't even in the French part. I was in the Dutch part. So I learned Dutch. Right. Right. So now I'm studying Spanish by myself and,
Okay.
doing little things in that there. But I just find it funny how you're bashing your teacher. Whereas I had an earful from mines when I told her. I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
she's
here
just convinced
for
that I
them."
learned a lot of my Spanish from her. Like, she really does take a lot of credit for a job that she
Oh,
didn't really do. But it's okay because, like, it's just, I don't know. I just think that's what teachers kind of do, right? Like they all contribute in some way, shape, or form to get you to where you are. Whether it's great or bad, I think they all motivate you in different ways. And so she
Mm-hmm.
just motivated me in a not so positive way, but that's not a bad thing. I think it's just allowed me to, you know, create something that's just a little bit better.
Period.
It's kind of it may work for somebody else. It just didn't work for me. And so I wanted to create something that worked for students like me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And what is the tutoring actually taught you about you? Like, yes, you spoke about you're not a teacher, period. But where else did you kind of grow and get pruned through this process?
I would say patience. I would also say curriculum development, planning, preparation, like making sure, like learning about. So, being that I don't have a background in education, it's learning about education as I go. So, it's like this is my education degree because I'm learning how to interact with all different age groups and what students enjoy versus not enjoy based on the learning style. So, yeah, I'm learning a lot about how people learn. So, I think that's really what it's teaching me.
Oh, gorgeous. And how do you apply that to your internship hub? Because I feel like tutoring and then like creating a hub, like you said, all that planning and the curriculum stuff, I can imagine definitely plays right into that. So how have you been able to translate those skills into that?
Yeah, so now we're really in the build phase. So in the build phase, I've come to terms with the fact that Spanish syllabus, like also I've learned that you don't have to do everything yourself. I think that's also what I've learned in this transition of things. So like in Spanish, I was building my own curriculum and stuff. And then I was like, sitting like there are things that exist already that you can use as a framework to then build off of. And so now I feel like I've still not done that in the sense of using somebody else's syllabus, but I've used many different syllabus. So from all around the world to create my syllabus. So it's different.
Mm.
One. And then I will also say I've been using other people's expertise. So I will be um, coordinating with a friend of mine who is a teacher to make sure that my curriculum does um, follow something of an educator so that it is easy to follow. It does have the standards, it does have all the things that it needs. So one day that it can be accredited and it can be in schools. Like that would be my ideal. So yeah, it's just like learning where your expertise lies. And if it's mine is just not teaching because I didn't take a degree in teaching, but I don't have a degree in education. But even with that, like using the people in my network and around me that I can then learn from in the midst.
Love that. Like that's a lesson I'm learning right now too. You just cannot do it all by yourself, even though.
You really cannot. You really cannot. It's a
Yeah.
hard pill to swallow. I'm an ambitious person, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like you need these people, and they make your product so much better. So
Yep.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And actually, based off that point, in terms of the internship hub again, and kind of allowing other people to use it to get opportunities, how have you found that people today, whether in our age group or younger, have found finding these opportunities? Is it a struggle? Is it easier now? Like, where's that kind of point?
Yeah, so I like whatever opportunities are shared with me personally, whether that's a company saying, "Hey, we want to put our internship on your platform," then we also promote it. And so from that, like us being able to promote it, I've heard that people had interviews with those companies and they're like, "Yeah, I like this company. Like I see myself working here summertime." So hopefully, like it did come to pass, and like they are able to. Like I don't know anything outside of I just post it and then they apply and they do all the other things like that. But eventually want to get to a place where we can help students to apply.
Mhm.
But yeah, right now we're just in that build phase. So even with our job board, it doesn't have every single opportunity because we are still learning how to source every opportunity in a way that's automated and easy. So that is not somebody else's job to kind of just input everything. But it is right now, and it's mine. It's my job to go out and look and then post those things on our website. But until so that it will be easier, it will be a one-stop shop, and it will have all the resources that you need. So yeah.
Still talking about the internship hub. What gaps did you notice that made you say something needs to change? Like there's the pipeline, graduate, go to uni, get a degree, get a job. Um, what gaps in your personal journey made you say, no, we need an internship hub. Like, we need this to help other students so they don't have the stress that I had to go through.
Yeah, I think it started in high school. I had finished high school. I come back from Rotary, actually.
Mm,
And I needed to work. I needed a job, but I couldn't find an internship. And so I remember the following summer, my cousin had sent me internships that she had received. I had applied. And at that time, I was working as a waitress for the first time in my life. And so when they called to say, hey, like, we want to go forth with you, like, we want you to have an internship here. I had an internship. It was the best time of my life, honestly. I learned so much about the insurance industry, the reinsurance industry, because I was in re. I learned so much about ILS, which is insurance linked securities, which is where I worked in that department for that year. In me doing that for those 2 months, the following year I came back to that same position and I did it for 8 months for my co-op. They enjoyed having me so much that they decided to create a co-op placement for me. And so I then endured that and that was fun as well. And then the following year I had to do my last co-op and it was just not the same. I did not feel like I had the same learning opportunities. I didn't feel like my boss was as interested in my growth as I was interested in my growth or pushing me as far as I feel like he could have. And so because of that, I was like, oh, there's a difference. So during that time, I was going to my second internship, like with my second company. I went to Chicago with BFIS, which is Bermuda Foundation of Insurance Studies. And they had awarded me a scholarship. And so I also got to go on the internship program to Chicago. And during that time, I was visiting one of the companies and they had this very robust internship program where their students came in, they were able to learn so much. They had a buddy. They had like all these different things. They had projects. It was an intentional way to learn about the industry, the role, and just the company in and of itself. And I said, oh, this is interesting. And I never knew why I thought it was interesting. Because at that time, I never thought about internship inside school. I never knew what it was going to be. And so at that time, I was trying to figure out also, what am I about to do after school? Because at the same time, I learned like insurance wasn't really my thing. Like I enjoyed learning about it, and I really enjoyed different projects and meeting the different people and going to networking events and all the things. Like I used that experience as much as I could. I drained every single thing and opportunity that I could out of that experience. But I also learned that it wasn't for me, and I think that's also something that we have to recognize and understand. Like that is okay. And so that's the beautiful thing about Internship Insights Code, that as you go throughout your internship programs, you're able to identify what does align with you and what doesn't align with you so that you can then be placing things that better align with what you want to do and you see that you're going to be there longer term. So anyway, yeah, from then, I Internship Insights Code became an idea after that trip. At first, before it was Internship Insights Code, a trainer consulting firm, it was a selfish thing because I was like, okay, like I want to travel after school. Like I want to be able to go around the world. So how can I find a way to get people to put me all over the rest? I'm like, you know what? Like it could be an internship program where people have like Bermuda obviously is the domicile of many international businesses, but with them being international, the internship programs abroad are so much better, more robust. So maybe they're gonna get me to go over there. They pay for my travel. Remember what in my mind is what was gonna happen. Pay for my travel. Remember what I go over there. I got to learn about their internship program and then bring it back to Bermuda and then teach them how to implement it. Like that's really what I wanted to do at first. Until again, prayer, asking the Lord, like, okay, what is this thing gonna be? And he was like trainer and consultant, and he showed me like all the things that it would have and how it would just evolve and into something that allows people to not only discover their purpose or like what they're supposed to do on this earth, but also like how does it align with like the workforce? How can they feed into the workforce and also create a living for themselves that is sustainable? So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
100%.
Very
You're
much.
so well
When,
read
mm,
and eloquent in all that you're talking about. Like it's not like we just
Thank
ask you a
you.
question and you're like, and then waffling on. Like everything you said
the type of intention.
exactly.
Mm.
And I think
Thank
that's the most
you.
beautiful bit. Wrapping up. Our last two questions for you. Um, I guess kind of going off of what you last said, if people did have all the opportunities that maybe, again, those robust internship programs, or even just better quality teachers or teachers that really did kind of tailor different things to different students, just opportunities like that, where do you think students would be and where do you think their lives could eventually look like after things like that?
Yeah, I think one thing that I didn't share that I feel like gets into this question very well is that often internship insights code was built because I found that businesses looked at interns as one thing and interns looked at businesses as another thing. And so they was looking at the interns looking at what can I get out of this company for me, and the company's looking at what can I get out of this intern for me. Until we're able to show people from the opposite sides, like this is what I need from you, this is how you can help me and how I can help you, this is how you can help me and how I can help you, is how we create this win-win partnership, and which is really why internship insights code was created as well. And so I think that if teachers looked at it or like companies, whoever, when even you as a student go into opportunities. So yeah, actually let me talk as the individual. You going into opportunities, any opportunity, whether that's a networking event, a company, a job that you never even wanted, a volunteer experience, whatever it is, I want you to go into it thinking, okay, how can I help them help me? But it's also about helping them first. I feel like the help them comes first and then they help you. And so you have to think about, okay, how can I help them help me? And so yeah, I think that is the biggest thing. If everyone looked at things like that, like how can I help them help me? So with teachers, okay, if I cater to my students the way that they need to, that they learn or that they enjoy how to learn, then in return gonna help me get a higher grade in my class. We will have the highest grade in our year level, for example. Same thing when it comes to companies. If I'm asking, okay, how can I help my intern? If I'm feeding to my intern learning opportunities, networking opportunities, growing the network, doing this, and even outside of just the career or the industry, but also helping their personal life. Because at the end of the day, teachers, bosses, they all feed into your personal lives in some way, shape, or form. They develop this character that you then go out into the world with as well. And so if you look at it like how can I help them help me, um it allows you to then see, okay, like if I help them do this, then that allows them to do that. So with employers, I think it comes down to interns. If I give them all these opportunities, they will become a great employee. And I think the beautiful thing about it is that when they see our name on a resume, they're like, oh, like we need to train the interns or the employees well. And so we want to poach from them, which is a bad thing, but it isn't a bad thing because it shows that you're doing something right. And I think that we also have to look at it from that perspective. Like, how can we help them help me? I think that is the biggest, biggest thing.
I
Is
love that.
synergy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so lastly, you've built a career, written a book, started multiple businesses. What connects all of these for you?
Mm. All of them are my heart posture, I would say. Like every business that I've created is to help people, is for the betterment of other people. So you're learning Spanish because you want to learn Spanish for a reason. You don't learn Spanish just to learn Spanish. You learn Spanish maybe to get a job, to travel around the world, to whatever you want to do. Like that's why you're learning Spanish. You are learning about how to achieve goals because you want to live a better life. You are getting internship experience because you want to understand, okay, where do I really fit in this workforce industry? So I think everything that I've created is really in alignment with my heart posture. Is really like I want to serve others. Like I love to serve people. I love people. And so every business, but I also want to love people in a way that brings them higher. Like I don't want to love when you're still sitting in the same place because is that really love? Like I don't really believe in loving people just at where they are without trying to elevate their mindset, without trying to elevate some aspect of their life that they believe could be better. Because there's no way that you're going through life, you're coasting through life and you feel like, oh, like, there's no way that this could be better. Like there's always something that can be better and you will never stop growing. You never stop, learning. You never stop becoming better. Like you just never stop becoming. It's just what it is. And so in that, my whole posture is that people who come into contact with me also feel like they meet Christ, but they also meet someone that's loving, that's genuine, and that truly wants the best for them in every area of their lives. And so that's why I created all the brands that I created, because it is to help others. Like, it was definitely to help me because it was something that I wanted that I didn't have. And so now I wanted other people to have that experience, a much easier experience to get to where they want to get to. So yeah.
I love that. You're so great. You're so insightful.
Thank
If I had a Pinterest
you.
board of role models, I think I'll put you on there. Matter of fact, I will.
Stop.
For everyone listening, can you, unless you want to, if you want, can you give some way to a social media or anything for them to follow to keep in contact with you or keep up to date?
Yes, for sure. So you can find me on Instagram at Sydney.Riona. I haven't posted in I don't even know how many months, and my friends are pressuring me to get it done. So hopefully it gets done soon. But I'm very much a chronological person, so I want things to be done in order, which is why I haven't posted. But anyway, that's a little tangent for another day. But that's that. Then Internship Insights Co. That's what it is on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Sydney West on LinkedIn. And yeah.
Love it. You have such a gorgeous heart. Like your heart
Thank
posture, like you
you.
said, it flows out of you so eloquently and so beautifully. Like
Thank you so
it's
much.
obvious you like and love sharing any kind of way to help or to serve others. And I hope and pray that the Lord continues to bless your hands because
Thank you so much.
I'm sad. Also, I will be following on Instagram. But
Thanks. I need
Sydney
to follow you too
Synergy.
if I
It's
don't
cool.
already.
Yeah,
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 if I
yeah.
don't already. And you also need to tell me your big brands so that I can
I got
follow
you. I
and
got you.
love and all the things.
Let me just do it right now.
Okay,
Well, actually, hold on. Thank you guys so much for listening. Obviously, it has been a gorgeous, gorgeous time with you, Sydney. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It's really been a time. And it's ministered to me, not gonna lie. A lot of things that I feel
Period.
like I definitely took away from. So I can't wait for the episode to come out because I'm gonna re-listen to be like, "Oh, really?
We're
I'm gonna learn
dropping
something myself."
gems. Right. Period. Well, we've been the desk. Thank you for pulling up a chair. I'm Sydney.
I'm Talia.
Till next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.